Well, to be fair, we did do one or two network game, unlike a legit network game, probably about just before COVID, just before I had my first child, and it was four of us from work. It wasn't any of the lads from the blog, and it took over our lives. One of the lads is now divorced, and I'm pretty sure that was the cause. So tread carefully before you dive into old network games. Is my advice.
There must be players in there who, and we all know, like the Football Manager, like obviously Freddie Adu or players like that. But in like it's 97, 98, like who would you say is the player who comes to your mind?
Well, for me,
just never made it.
I always go into him back a year ago. Was so,
I can
so
see
excited.
him. Is he your top goal scorer? Yeah,
He is. Yeah, top lad. Yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the FM show. I am your host RDF Tactics. You can call me Aaron Falloon. I am joined with my co-host here, Maggio. Tony, I have no idea where he is, but we do have a special guest today. So everyone say hello to the author of not one, but two Championship Manager books. He's also on the Man on the Post. He's a regular on that podcast, and he's also assistant at the Offside Rule podcast as well. So say hello to Dave Black.
Hello, everybody.
Nice.
Hello,
how you
Dave.
doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for having us on.
Oh, not a problem.
Privilege.
Not a problem. So, of course, today we're going to get stuck into the Championship Manager books. That's why you're here. So, what actually inspired these books? So, the books are called The World According to Championship Manager. He's got two editions. One's 97-98 and the other one is 2001-02. So, what inspired you to make these books?
So, it was going back probably over 10 years ago now, and I was trying to get into sport writing, and soon found out that like the market is just saturated. So all the stuff I was writing was getting so few views and so little traction because everyone's writing about the Premier League or whatever. So I thought I needed a bit of a niche really to try and build an audience and get a foot in the door, so to speak. So I started writing a blog about Champion 97-98. Obviously an old game. It was old then. It was even older now. But that was kind of its hook, was that a lot of people had maybe forgotten about some of the hidden gems in that game, and obviously enjoyed playing it when they were whatever age they were when it came out. In my case, I was probably 8 or 9, but we played it a lot. It was like a freeware game, so as long as one person had the CD, you could pass it around, and that just meant it was massively playable amongst like groups of friends, and in the school and playground and stuff. Everyone would talk about it because it was so easy to pass around and play. So it obviously has a pretty big following, and luckily enough, it gained a bit of traction and built a bit of an audience for it, which was great. And then on the back of that, an editor got in touch and said, "Let's make a book out of this." And hadn't really thought about it, but it wasn't going to cost me anything other than time, so we just made a book, which was a run through of a season, and we just kind of anything that happened that obviously with the benefit of hindsight. Some players went on to do great things in the game who perhaps didn't in real life, which made for a good story now. And that was the premise of the book, really. So that's how it happened. Obviously, never really set out to do it, but as you say, some things just happen sometimes. So it was a happy accident.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing the blog now? You must have been doing it.
It's over 10 years. I think it was 10 years in January just gone. Again, something I was planning to do for maybe. I was going to finish the game, so it's a game that has, I think it's 29 seasons when it comes to a stop, and I thought, well, I'll just finish the game. I guess I've done it. But by that point, there was still people viewing and wanting more, so I just kept doing other saver days and things, and now here we are, 10 years later, and it's still going.
So the 01-02 book has got a little title underneath, Sven 5-1 and the Golden Generation.
Yeah.
So what's packed in that book there? Obviously not telling us everything. We still want people to go and check it out.
So the background of both books is that I manage England is sort of my project, as well as telling the readers what's going on in the wider world, if you like. And of course, both games finish the season with a tournament, so World Cup '98 and then World Cup 2002. So the sort of undercurrent is me trying to win the World Cup. And of course, as you said there in the title of the book, 2002 is synonymous with was probably England's gold generation. I dare say it's probably been surpassed now by the current crop, where we're producing many world-class players. But back then, we had Gerrard and a Lampard and Scholes and Michael Owen,
Beckham,
and
Owen.
Beckham, of course, and all these world-class players, the likes of which England hadn't always had maybe a full squad of world-class players.
Yeah.
The '98 World Cup, we had David Batty was good, but he wasn't maybe world-class. So, and that's being polite. So it was a golden generation, and that was a nice sort of undercurrent of that story, was that we could try and get the most out of the golden generation. But maybe being daft, I ended up recalling Paul Gascoigne and things. A small spoiler, but you couldn't ignore Paul Gascoigne.
So, have you played the most recent FMs? Because there's obviously a reason why I asked that.
Yeah, I still, until obviously this year it didn't happen, but I still get the new FM every year. I still give it a go. I do enjoy them. I really do. It's just time. I don't have enough spare time to make it worthwhile. So I always find I pick it up and start playing it. I always get it around Christmas. I'll play it to death for a few weeks and probably get through a couple of seasons. And then reality bites. I go back to work. The kids need this, that, and the other. And it's just, I don't feel like I can give it enough attention to get enough out of the game. It's so detailed. If you don't put enough effort into certain things, you don't get results. You end up getting beat a lot. You stop playing.
Yeah.
So what I really want to do is take like a 2-week holiday every year. Just ignore the wider world and just play FM, but it's not always possible. I know they do like the classic FM and things where you can play in the sort of the stripped back mode, but to me, it's not playing FM. I may as well play Champ Manager for that, which I actually do. So that's where I'm at with it. But I do still love the series. I still always buy the new games. I'm looking forward to the new FM whenever it does come out. I think again, absence has made the heart grow fond a bit on that, because I've obviously missed my dip into the new world, if you like, this year. But sure, eventually we'll get a new game.
Yeah, so because you're still uploading on your blog, right? So I'm obviously on the blog post now.
Yeah.
And I can see, obviously, you posted just this month, a few days ago. And
Yes.
you're sporting Hee-Hon save. So are you currently still, you must be enjoying the 01-02. Is it 01-02 or?
This is 97-98.
97-98, yeah.
Yeah, so I am still enjoying it. It's so previously, again, going back 10 years or so, I was posting probably 2 or 3 times a week. I'd have multiple saves on the go, and it was almost a second job, but it was an enjoyable thing to do. Now I do maybe 1 or 2 saves a year. So at the minute, I got the bug, if you like, about maybe 2 months ago, and started to save and do 1 blog a week, which is fine. It's manageable for me. I'd love to do more, but again, it hit a huge popularity during COVID. It was nice. People had time on their hands. People wanted to know how to play the game again. It's now maybe died off a little bit. So we've got a hardcore of fans who 250 or so who read it every week, regardless. But it never gets more than that. Whereas previously we were hitting maybe 1,000 a post, which was good. So I don't have the same sort of intensity as I used to with it, but it's still going on. There's always new things you find where you think that'll be a good save. So the Sporting Hee-Hon save, they were, probably still are, the worst La Liga team of all time. Their 97-98 show, they got something like 15 points. So that'd be good to take them on and to try and make them decent. And it took them actually a little while and longer to turn them around. Like, obviously play the game a while, you get good at it, but took these a while to actually get going, which has been a different challenge.
Nice.
I mean, how do you decide, like, how do you keep it fresh? Because this is like a now 27-year-old game. You must know like who the best players are. Like, I know people now are itching with FM24. They're like, they've worked out the metas. They know the wonder kids. How do you keep it fresh with?
Well, that's probably the hardest thing, to be honest. Is obviously I have a pretty good idea of who's going to turn out well, and sometimes you just have to pick teams who you're not going to get hold of them for a little while for various reasons. Or we'll do concept saves. So like one of my more popular saves again during COVID was the retirement home, where I could only sign players who were 35 and over, which was really hard. Like, it started off quite easy to begin with, but as time goes on, the players are not good. And it's the first time I've ever been relegated, like on any management game really, but we got relegated a couple of times and had to promote them back, which was really quite difficult. So I felt, I think it took 11 seasons to finally win the Premier League, starting in Division 3. And we went up and down numerous times in that time, but that sort of thing. So we'll have a save where you can only sign certain players, or maybe like certain players who weren't in the Premier League at the start of the game but went on to play in the Premier League in real life, that kind of thing. there's been probably hundreds of different saves from not just me, but we've had a couple of, well, probably call maybe a dozen writers who've helped out over the years, and they've brought their own ideas to the table. So that's helped keep it fresh as well, when it's not just me every week. So yeah.
How many of you are there? Because there's someone who's doing a Portuguese Wolves save, aren't they? And there's a few others.
So that was Nick. Nick's just finished that run, but that again went on for about 15 seasons, I think, where we could only sign Portuguese players for Wolves, which again obviously became relevant in the last few years when Wolves did more or less the same thing on a smaller scale. So yeah, it's kind of moving with the times a bit. But I think we've got a core of probably 10. We still meet on a Tuesday fortnightly now to play a network game as the 10 of us.
Oh, you can do a network game with it?
Yeah.
Even in the old...
So the advantage, it's not really a network game, but because of things like Zoom, one of us can run the game and share our screens, and obviously someone just controls the mouse, but we all can play together. Which, again, never really been on the cards a number of years ago, but with the advancements in things like Zoom and whatever else, it's become a reality now. So yeah, we meet, and I think the current save is... we've got the top 10 Scandinavian teams and drop them into Scotland and trying to make them a success. But it's a laugh. It just passes a few hours with mates on a Tuesday night, so it's good fun.
How do you? Because only one of you can go at once, right? Or
yeah. So Andrew normally hosts, and he will obviously control the screen and say, right, Dave, your match is up. Who do you want to pick? Who do you don't want to pick? And we'll just make the changes that way. And it's an old game, so it runs really quickly anyway. So there's not really much lag involved. So yeah, we don't take it super seriously or anything.
That's the best way.
To be fair, we did do an 0102 network game, unlike a legit network game, probably about just before COVID, just before I had my first child, and it was 4 of us from work. It wasn't any of the lads from the blog. And it took over our lives. One of the lads is now divorced, and I'm pretty sure that was the cause. So tread carefully before you dive into old network games, is my advice.
I'm pretty sure. Can you play like updated databases on the game as well?
So there are some people who are steadfastly still updating it. That is a chore and a half.
Yeah.
Some people still do it. I'm not a huge fan of it. If I play an old game, I want to play it with old players. It's just something about
like the retro.
Well, that's exactly it. I don't really want to play as the modern players on an old game. It just feels a bit. It's not the same either. I mean, I do like positions now. There's not so much like striker, left wing, right wing. You've got you've got your inverted wingers and you've got your overlapping wing backs and whatever else. It doesn't really translate that well into an old game. I don't think anyway. So.
What if they mix it? Like, have you ever thought of like mixing it up so the players are the same but the attributes are different?
You probably could. Yeah,
just so like Michael Owen doesn't turn out to be a great player, or
well, you could. I mean, again, this is quite, I don't know if it's sad or brilliant, but someone worked out you can export the database to Excel, make the changes, and then load it back in using the same Excel file, which is great for making like mass changes. So to take your idea there, you could basically download it, randomize the ability column, and go right off you go, just see what happens.
Yeah,
which would be fun. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess on that, are there, there must be players in there who. And we all know, like, the Football Manager, like, obviously Freddie Adu or players like that. Mm-hmm. But in, like, it's 97, 98, like, who would you say is the player who comes to your mind?
Well, for me,
just never made it.
I always go Ibrahim Bakayoko. Was so,
I can
so
see
excited.
Him is he your top goal scorer? Yeah.
He is, yeah, top lad. I was so excited when he signed for Everton in real life, because this was just probably a year after this game, or maybe even during this game, but either way, like, he was hot property on the playground, let's say, and everyone thought this guy's going to come in the Premier League and he's going to be fantastic, and he just wasn't, which is a huge shame. But it's kind of like the first Champman legend who broke your heart, but he wasn't anywhere near as good as the game had him made out to be. But yeah, he's always my go-to. But even we mentioned Michael Owen before. He's 17 when this game starts and is about to go on and have the World Cup of his life. So he's got huge potential, but he's kind of less of a hidden gem. Everyone kind of knows about him, and certainly did as the real life season unfolded. He became, let's get Michael Owen, and sometimes you could, sometimes you couldn't. So.
Have you come across those mods so in a newer game, and they've gone back and they've made the database for, like you said, like 97, 98? Would that appeal to you? Because I've tried it, and it's difficult because in your head you're like, okay, it's great that they're in the game. But then I just it's like Pokemon, try and collect them all, and then like you sort of lose the point of playing the Football Manager game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, was it? Is it the Scientist FM? I have Scientist. I can't remember how his name goes, but
Mad Scientist. Yeah,
Mad Scientist. Sorry, that's him. He's done some brilliant work with these old databases. And I mean, I just doff my metaphorical cap to him because the work he's put in is so good.
Mental.
But, yeah, I mean, again, kind of what I said earlier. I will certainly look at them and play them for a bit, but if I'm going to play with retro players, I'd rather play the retro game.
Same, yeah.
And again, Football Manager, if I had the time to play it properly, I would play it with the current players. So it's a bit, if time was endless, I would play all these things, but you kind of got to pick and choose, haven't you? So,
so it must be pretty quick to go through a season. I imagine it's like
I think
a couple hours.
If I didn't blog it, and obviously taking screenshots and things slows you down slightly, but I didn't blog it, I reckon I could do a season in a couple of hours. Especially if it got into a team that was in a good rhythm and you just keep playing, which you could do in those days. There was no like squad rotation and fatigue to worry about or anything like that. So the sports scientist telling you that this player's going to keel over if you play him another minute. So you
just run them into the ground. They probably have a fitness, right?
They had a condition rating, which is like obviously out of 100, but
it was a holdover from the original, I think.
It's strange though, because like you would. Obviously, nowadays you would look at that, but I'm not sure in the 90s I ever did. It was just like if he wasn't injured, you would play them. You would never look. You never even think about rotating your squad for a cup game. It was just every game mattered 100%. You don't play everybody all the time. But I guess that's kind of like how the modern era's affected things, which you now start considering like, well, maybe I could rotate the squad for the FA Cup and stuff that would never happen back then, but have to.
And how many seasons do you reckon you've done of the game?
Oh goodness. So you can do 29 before it ends, and I've completed the game completely probably twice. Generally on a save, I'd probably do 5 maximum before you've sort of reached your goals. So on blog saves alone, I've probably passed definitely 100 seasons, I would say. But we used to play, I say, all the time. Like even when we were kids, we used to go in this lad's house, and he had a terrible computer, so he could only run 97, 98 up until. We must have been maybe 2002, 2003, so that's a good 5 or 6 years worth of playing this game and nothing else. So it's kind of always been embedded in my life one way or another.
I guess like there's stories in all these saves. So you're doing Gijon at the minute, but like going back, which of these journeys is like memorable to you?
Stand out
anything?
One.
Yeah, stand out.
So I mentioned before the retirement home. First time probably ever been relegated, and at times I thought I'm never ever going to get any better than like flip-flopping between Division 2 and Division 1 because the pool of players is so awful, because it's kind of like when you start the game, those 35-year-olds have got an ability which is like, let's say 100 out of 200, and it's like, well, they're okay, they can get you through Division 3, probably Division 2, and then they start to drop off a bit. But then as the game goes on, those players who are hitting 35 have already started to regress, so that their ability is nowhere near like those starting players who start with that. So you're just getting more and more terrible players and trying to get higher and higher up the leagues, which is obviously like a false positive. So it was a real struggle. It was only when I decided to sort of change my rules a bit and allow me to have a goalkeeper who was young, because goalkeeper is the most important position on the game. It's a stupid match engine where the keepers are overpowered, but if you've got a bad goalkeeper, you've got absolutely no chance whatsoever. And I had Jacques Songu, who is at Deportivo, Cameroonian goalkeeper. His arms just basically fell off and was useless. Like every shot was going in. And it's just like, I thought, if I'm going to progress this game, I need to adjust the rules a bit. And thankfully, I said this was right in the bang of COVID, and everyone was quite into it. So like, do what you want, just let's see how this goes. So I did that without guilt. But then prior to that, it was the very first blog save was let's get to the end, and we had Peter Beardsley, who didn't realise at the time, but if you shortlist a player, they don't retire. So I had him shortlisted to try and get his regen, because again, like I think probably still happens, but when players retire, they come back as 17-year-olds with a different name, but core skills are the same. So people like Jurgen Klinsmann are a great regen to get, because he's 34, 35 when the game starts. He's brilliant. He's going to retire. You're going to get a 17-year-old German regen who just is your striker for 20 years. So I was trying to do it with Peter Beardsley, but obviously he just kept playing. He was like player manager of Rotherham or something until he was like 65. So I was picking him for England. We went to the World Cup in 2026, and he scored the winning goal at 65.
Was he still good,
no
or is
way.
He was
physicals, like...
terrible, and it's the only time I've ever seen it happen is that he got so poor physically. Instead of him being like a 1, he just became a dash. So he was like presumably 0 out of 20
nothing
for strength and pace and stamina.
Kick a ball.
So I was just like, this guy is going to fall to bits, but scored the final in Mexico of all places. So it was really very hot as well. So yeah, so that was a nice end.
Oh
Yeah. See, now I want to go back and try that. I want to shortlist all the players and just leave them.
I was just thinking similar. But you don't get them back as a region if you do that, though, innit?
Yeah, but just see what happens. Like, see who goes the longest.
Have an old lad squad.
Yeah.
Battle of the seniors.
But maybe that's it now. You got to try and do it again.
I'll download the database, like you said before, make every player 65 and recreate the Masters indoor football and just see who wins.
That would be brilliant. Yeah, those relegation stories are special, because I did have a save not too long ago. I didn't actually finish it because it mentally just took too much from me. But I was pro Vercelli, and nowadays in Italy, when you get promoted, it's not like the Premier League, you get like 30 million to spend in your first season. So I was excited, like, yes, promotion. And just like, yeah, you've got 850k to survive. But we got through because of the loan signings.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like, yeah, the first season was difficult. I got relegated, which it's tough to take, my first ever relegation. But I think that just grew motivation in me to keep going again the next season. Got promoted. And then after a few seasons, I got to Europe. The aim was to win the league. I got to Europe, I was like, guys, I've had enough, man. This is taking too much out of me.
That's great, though. It's great as well when it's a team who you don't necessarily know much about, but by the end you've got a huge affinity for them. So.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it where you can't sign any players in it? Is that possible, Drew?
I have done that with Newcastle. So I went through a phase of doing a series of called short stories, which was trying to replicate what happened in real life, but with Newcastle. Obviously, in real life, Alan Shearer got basically a season-ending injury in pre-season, and Kenny Dalglish had just sold Les Ferdinand and David Ginola, and then was going to build the team around Shearer, and Jon Dahl Thomason had just signed. A lot of other young players had signed, but then Shearer was out, so it was like, well, how do you survive? And we came 13th, so we didn't really survive. We dropped off from second. So I said, well, let's try and do that. Let's not sign anybody. And let's just see how we go. And amazingly, we actually did quite well. And I ended up playing like 4 or 5 seasons without signing a single player, which was difficult to start with. But you end up blooding like these young players, and they just get better and better and better. So you kind of take a bit of a pain to begin with, but they just get better and better. And it was quite satisfying by the end to have a fully grown squad.
Is that when Newcastle signed Stefan Guvenach on the back of the World Cup?
Yes.
And he only played 4 games, 1 goal.
Yeah, so he's still to this day the only Newcastle player to ever win the World Cup, and he signed was like July the 1st while he was away at World Cup duty, and won the World Cup 10 days later or something, and then played a handful of games poorly and left probably in the January of that season or something. So. Yeah,
he did. He went to Rangers. That. I mean, that's such a weird little. He actually probably is at Newcastle in the game, right? Or is he?
No, so it was the end of that season when he signed.
Auxerre.
So we just missed out on him. But he is at Auxerre and actually very good, so worth picking up if.
He's a goal machine. He's a goal machine in France. Like, it's no wonder they took him to the World Cup. But just that weird little blip at Newcastle in his career. It's such a strange.
It's a huge shame. But we went through a phase of signing strikers to try and play with or play instead of Shearer when he was injured, and no one really succeeded. It was obviously big boots to fill, but
I was going to say the pressure alone. The pressure alone would have been too much for me. So, do you have any favorite players from this 97-98 game? So, ones that are, I don't know, they don't necessarily have to be the greatest player or become the greatest player like a Bakayoko, but is there someone? Is there when someone mentions, Champ, do you remember Champ Man 97-98? Is there a player that instantly just comes to your head?
So a lot of people's favourites is a chap called Bjorn Heidenstrom, who played 4 games for Leyton Orient in 97-98, or actually maybe the previous season, but for some reason is still there in the database. It's kind of a lovely quirk of the game. And he was active on Twitter. Twitter's kind of not what it was, as you all know, but he is still active on social media anyway. And people were tagging him in posts and things. And he just totally got on board with it, so he loves it now. He's had songs written about him.
That's great.
He has the T-shirt made, and he's just very much on board with the whole thing. He came on our podcast about Champman, about 5 years ago now, and just told story after story about his time at Leyton Orient. And he played in like Peter Shilton's 1000th game. So Peter Shilton went back to Leyton Orient for a brief spell in 1996 or something, or 1997, and Bjorn just happened to be there on this loan spell, and he played in Shilton's 1000th game, which is quite a thing to be able to tell people.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just loves it, and he's actually a really good sign as well, because he can get about 50 grand from Leyton Orient, and he does a job pretty much all the way up the pyramid. So he's become Mr. Champman 97-98, I think, in the community, and he was full of like, we talked years ago, and I know Tony's really looked at this, doing like we were calling it ChampCon, which is going to be like this Champman convention.
Oh yes.
And Bjorn was like, if you do it, let me know. I'll be there in a flash. I'm best mates with Ronnie Johnson. He'll be there. Best mates with Tommy Svindal Larsen. He'll come with us. And I'll be like, right, we've got a great Norwegian set of lads here for us.
Yeah, the Norwegians always they come out great in Football Manager. I mean,
yeah, they've always had a good heritage of it, haven't they? But yeah, he's just like the nicest man in the world. He just wants to be part of the gang. It's just like, why not?
Does he play it? Does he play the game?
No, he says he's never played it in his life.
Wow.
But what was odd, we also had Nicholas Alexandersson on, so obviously a bit more high profile, played for Sweden, scored in the World Cup. He came on because he plays in every position, so he's like a bit of a maverick. He plays every single outfield position. And he came on, he's like, when it was on the Chef Wed team bus, everyone was playing this game. I'm like, but people like in the 90s laptops weren't small, so like I can't imagine like Paolo Di Canio carrying his laptop on me. Yeah, let's play some Champ. So I was really like intrigued as to what that was, but yeah, it was just a mind-blown insight into what was going on at that time.
Yeah, it's crazy because we had Steve Sidwell, and he said something similar, right? Like one day he got into the team bus and there was players on the laptop just playing this game, but at that time he had no idea. Obviously he understands now what it was, but it's just like, wow, there are footballers that are playing this game that just feels like a very niche game for us.
I can't remember who it was now, but there was someone was playing as Newcastle. Was it Mbappe playing as Newcastle on a flight or something, and one of his teammates
was it Griezmann?
Maybe Griezmann, sorry,
yeah.
He was playing as Newcastle, and someone took a picture of it anyway, and it was like, oh wow, Griezmann loves the tune. Obviously, he doesn't love the tune, but just things like that, and you just think this is mad.
It is.
Newcastle would love to sign him, wouldn't they? Antoine Griezmann.
Yes, I think it'll be a yes for that, please.
Well, he's late career now. But,
well, true, actually, but. I like he's just kind of gone a bit deeper, hasn't he? He just pulls the strings instead of being a striker.
Yeah.
That would be good. Oh yeah, I mean that would be like there's got to be some players who even back in 97, 98, like to think they were playing it back in 90, because it's certainly a lot bigger game now. But if some of them were playing it, I guess if you have an interest in football, it's somewhere on your radar, right?
Well, last time I spoke to Tony about this, I said one thing I'd love to do is to bring someone on. I mean, yourselves both said you've played the game, so maybe someone like yourselves who hasn't played a game as old as this and say, right, make sense of this. Because obviously in FM you get all sorts of like scout reports, and you get like star ratings, and you get a rough idea of who's good and who's not. On this, you've just got your eye test of like, there's his stats. You can see how he's played with his average rating. You see his current form, and that's all you've got. So I'd love to see someone have a go and try and make sense of it with limited tools.
I'd love to see their faces on the tactics screen.
It's so basic and limited. You just think,
you don't have player roles or anything, is it? It's like
lines.
Is it like you just set an arrow for them to go forward?
Exactly.
Or not, right?
So, and I obviously end up going wild, being like, I'm going to make him run there and him run there, and then you suddenly realise like that probably isn't going to work. But to begin with, everyone loves an arrow, and then over time you just kind of go, well, that doesn't work.
How easy is it to try wild tactics on there then and try new things?
There's some guys who try tactics to this day. Like this guy called Nikolai, you probably haven't crossed paths with him, but he seems to spend his days trying a different tactic with like a poor Premier League team, let's say, and setting them up in like a lopsided 4-3-3 where like the right wing back is a wing back and the left back is just a left back, and all that kind of nonsense where there's just players all over the place. And I say nonsense because I don't have the patience to try all this kind of stuff, but he gets some incredible results for like even a short period of time just by putting players in mad positions, and you think, well, fair play, because he's still making it fresh. 27 years on, whatever it is. There's some certain things I think every tactic has to have, which is like you have to play direct pretty much. So there's only 3 styles of play, which is passing, long ball, and direct. Direct basically means you're going to ping it towards your striker, not necessarily a long ball, but like it gets in the midfield and they're immediately looking for the run in behind.
Okay.
So
it's not a ball over the top, but it's like
it's just like constantly trying to turn the
just
defense.
direct,
basically.
yeah.
You're just going forward.
So it's basically the version of now we have short passing, but also tempo. So it'll be like just whacking the tempo all the way up. Sort of
I would say so. Yeah. So players like Ian Wright, who loves running behind, does really well in that sort of tactic. Even if he's like 33, I think, in the game, but that kind of player does well. And people have tried like, well, let's do a 4-4-2 passing and see how it works. It just doesn't. Like, even though every team in the world was playing 4-4-2 at this time, it just doesn't translate in the game. So
you see, that's funny because that actually would be, you go forward, I don't know, 7-8 years. That's where football goes. Is like 4-4-2, tiki taka, Spain, Netherlands. Like they Barcelona, they switched to a much less direct, much more controlled form of play.
That's it. Like Mourinho bought 4-3-3 in the Premier League, and then everyone played 4-3-3 for a bit.
Yeah.
And then it was only when people got sick of basically these two teams matching up exactly the same, and the team with the best players would win. And people started to introvert it a bit, and obviously all the tiki-taka stuff happened, and it was probably better for a time. I think it's kind of gone full circle now, where people are a little bit sick of it, I would say, and people who can do hybrid of, you can pass the ball short, but also not to death. Like that seems to be where football is now.
The balance, yeah.
Yeah, like PSG, obviously, the absolute flag bearers at the minute for a team. And they're anything but boring, but also don't hump it long. So, it's a good balance.
Yeah. So for someone who's played both games, the 97, 98, and the more recent versions, when you're playing the more recent versions, and do you enjoy having so much options? Like, so there's obviously appreciation that the game's slightly more in-depth and more modernized, but do you feel sometimes it's like, damn, I wish it was just a little bit simpler, like the 97, 98 version? And is that possibly a reason why you're still attached to it, or is it just another reason why you're attached?
I mean, with the FMs, I mean, FM for me peaked around maybe 2009. I was a student. It was just a perfect mix of detail and not being overwhelmed by it. I think now is obviously what annoys us about the modern game. I don't think I'm alone in this. Is that every single week it's like so and so wants to talk to you about not playing the team. Like, right, okay, and then no matter what I say, they're upset by it. And then it's like his mate, who he's playing instead of in his exact position, is like, oh, you treat him unfairly. I'm like, well, no, because if you don't, it's you who'll miss out if I play him. And it's like, well, it just winds us up. But I appreciate that's a very niche part of the game. But I think now it's probably almost too much to do. And I've almost got a bit of a fear of making a mistake and it being, critical. So if you mess up your pre-season, like, is your whole season done? And I know you can set your assistant up to do this, but as I said earlier, the kind of more stuff you're not doing, you feel like you're not really playing the game as much. And I don't want to feel like I'm cheating. I know it's not cheating, but you know what I mean? Like, if I just put everything to manage a holiday, let the assistant do it, then I mean, what's the point? Like, you may as well, not play it. So, it is still, I would never talk down about the series. I think it's a great game.
Yeah.
I think if I was 17 now, or just about to go to university and had lots of time in my hands, I would play it to death, and I would love it. But just in my current situation, I cannot commit to making it good. I did a real time save in maybe FM21. Maybe it was Cork City. They would just been relegated, so I tried to get them promoted, and that was good fun because you just play for like an hour a day and write up what happened, and then you'd move on, and the next day you may have a match, or you maybe prepare the team and stuff, and it made you kind of appreciate like different parts of the game. And because you'd limited yourself to playing for a time of the day, you didn't get overwhelmed by thinking, I've got to do this, that, and the other. It was just like, right, today it's time to set the training for the week, so I'll do that, and I'll do it well, and then I'll move on. But that was good.
Yeah, I agree. I think 2009, around that sort of era, I think those are like the perfect balance. Because there is sometimes, like, because I'm a streamer as well, and there is sometimes like I just want a quick game of Football Manager. I don't really want all the things on the side, like having to talk to players because they're upset. I just want to play Football Manager. I just want to press continue, get to the game, do the tactic, make my transfers, and just play the game. And I think the younger generation, they won't necessarily go back and play this and test it out, I don't think. But there is a part of them as well that they play the newer version and they're like, there's just a bit too much. Like, there's just too much buttons to press and what actually has an effect and what doesn't. And it is that sort of thing as well. Like, sometimes you might do something at the beginning of the season and that just basically ruins your whole season. Yeah. And you've got to get through that drag. And I think that's where some people disconnect, right? If they are fairly new to the game and they win the first, but then they lose the next 5, and it's just like, I don't know what's going on really much, and they just turn the game off and
yeah. That's it, and you feel like you've wasted an awful lot of time. Like if you spend hours doing your pre-season and doing all the friendlies, and I mean, granted, I would always give my friendlies to the assistant manager because it's counterproductive, isn't it? Because you don't want to lose, but you also know you've got to give everyone some game time and stuff like that. So you're playing a game like, we're getting beat 2-1, but I must take off these good players and bring on like my youth players, or else they're all gonna be knackered. So it's just like it's difficult to get yourself in that mindset.
Wow.
How do you feel? Like, I mean, one of the weird things about the older games, if anyone's not been and seen them, is like how unversatile. I was sort of thinking back to the tactics talk you were talking about a minute ago. How unversatile players are back then. You mentioned, who was the player you mentioned earlier? You said there was one player who could play everywhere. So but like most of your players just can't.
Nicholas
like
Nicholas Alexanderson and Luis Enrique from Barcelona, obviously now PSG manager, play every single outfield position. So everywhere across the 11, they can play, which is obviously tremendous to have in your squad, because they just solve any problems going. I always find with players like that, you end up playing them at like fullback because it's like the least fun position to buy for. So it's just like, well, I'll put him there and he'll do a job. But so yeah, those players are extremely versatile. But you're right, like a lot of the time, I mentioned this before, but like nowadays you probably have like a João Pedro who would play all across the front line. Whereas in the game it'd be like a forward centre, and that's it. Like there's no more to it. There are some like hidden positions and stuff if you look in the database, but if you don't do that, you would never know. So it's very, what you see is what you get.
Yeah, I was thinking about like the centre backs who can barely run but can definitely do a tackle and definitely do a header, and that's about like, but they won't move. You're not getting any John Stoneses here who are going to run the pitch with the ball.
No, the ball playing centre back is a good, probably 10 years away. It's very Italian centric in these days. It's like you defend, you're great to defend and just defend.
Yeah. It's they have. I mean, I think the other thing is like how wild some of the attributes. They seem a lot more extreme. Like you'll get players 20s. With 20s on the finishing and 20s on the like 20s on some of the attributes.
Yeah, so this is kind of just a bugbear, but it is annoying because you can tell, like, obviously research of these games has come on a long way. It's also probably a lot more vetted now, but certain leagues like the German league, whoever was the researcher could not be bothered. So like everyone's either got 20s for everything or 9 for everything. So like 9 being like obviously very average. And then in France, a lot of players are like, they've got 20s for shooting and pace and you think this guy's going to be amazing, and he's just not. And it's because his ability is like 110 or something, but his stats look great. And that's like kind of an anomaly they obviously worked on over the years of making players' stats more in line with their ability, because you should never really have a striker in Division 3 who's got finishing 20 or shooting 20 as it was then. Like in the grand scheme of things, he's not as good at finishing as Alan Shearer. Like dress it however you want, he's not. So that's kind of something they had to work on over the years. There's also like Partick Thistle have got 5 wonder kids, if you like, who were just never aspired to anything in real life, but for some reason the researcher got away with putting them in as being amazing, and no one questioned it. So it's just immortalised forever. And that's kind of one of the great quirks about the game, is that all the research was basically like fan done in the lower leagues, and it's just like if they got it through. I mean, you've said he played a 1 or 2. Like Tomadera is probably the most famous example of that, where he was just edited by the guy who was going on holiday to Madeira, whacked this player in, gave him probably -1 ability and 20s for finishing and stuff, and he's like one of the best strikers in the game. No one checked it, and now he's immortalised forever.
I think it is wild. Like I think now you're lucky if you got like 2 or 3 players with 20 finishing. I don't even think Harry Kane has 20 finishing. No. And you imagine he's probably one of the best finishers in the world.
Yeah, completely.
I mean, so does the ability not match what the attributes are in the old one?
No. So again, we had one of the guys do a bit of a blog on this where like, God love him, he made a load of players who had like just one for everything but 200 ability, and made like a whole squad of them, and then played them off against a squad who had 20 for everything but one for ability to see who would win. And it's obviously like ability actually trumps all. The stats are just like sort of how they perform to an extent, but like the ability is the be all and end all really. So
Wow.
makes you question everything really.
I wonder, Aaron, has anyone ever tested that in the new game? I always thought that the
'Cause you can
ability
do
was
it.
just where the attributes were, like the ability just sort of matched the attributes.
It's probably more dynamic now. Where if you
You can do it, you know. So I remember being an editor, right? So I think there's a potential, or there's a current ability that you can set, and then there's a recommended current ability. So I think every player in the game is under their recommended current ability because that's according to the attributes. Yeah. So I think you can actually create someone with one, but then just 20 attributes.
Because their current ability, but I don't know if their current ability reflects where their attributes currently are, or if it's like.
Oh, don't make me do it.
And then the recommended one is like where they get. The recommended one is like, hey, they're going to hit this soon. In the like, if they train, they can hit it, and then like the potential is like, hey, maybe they'll hit this, maybe they won't. Like, you know, it's going to be a long shot.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I mean, maybe that's an experiment. Like, if I give everyone ones, but I give them 200 current ability, and I give a team 20s, but I give them one ability. I don't think it lets you though. I think it resets.
I think it probably brings them in line a bit.
Yeah.
I know that happened even on this game. Like if you have a 16-year-old and you give them 20 for everything, their physical attributes adjust because that's one of the few dynamic things in the games. Like the physical attributes can't be 20 when they're 16. It just would probably make them superhuman by the time they were filled out in 25. So
pretty smart, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, this is very early knock into this game.
Yeah.
The Colliers are still involved this day, aren't they? So
I'm really intrigued what happens if you do that. Just put everyone on one
now.
and the attributes on 20.
Like, that's an experiment for afterwards. I mean, if anyone's ever tried it, I'm curious.
Someone must have
everyone's
done.
always going about what attribute is most powerful, but maybe it's just current ability is most powerful.
Yeah, that's like everyone's. That's what it is nowadays. So everyone's looking for the meta attribute. So now it's like people say pace and acceleration. So what people do now is they design their team, not really caring much about. I think the technicals always grab your eye. People don't really care about the mental attributes, and just as long as he's got 20 pace, 20 finishing, and he can dribble, that's the guy. That's the guy. And I think that's many people will play the game that sort of way these days as well.
I think so. Also, I think it would upset a lot of people if it just came down to ability and nothing else. Like, it was...
I think it's like some of the, like, not Championship Manager, but some of the other older games. Like, I'm sure LMA Manager, you just used to get like a star rating, right? I didn't even think you had attributes.
I'm trying to think. I'm Premier Manager, you got that. Remember Premier Manager? Which was like...
Yeah, Premier Manager. You
Premier
just
Manager,
get like a star out of 5.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be like whole stars. You could get like
you get like 3.5 and
2/3
stuff. And it used to take up an entire memory card, which was always great fun.
That's it. So you'd always try and sign a 5-star striker. I think even in like, well, old football games used to do this as well, right? I think it was just football management games. They just had
I think it's probably. I know I had like, was it Kickoff on the SNES? That was always stars out of 5. Yeah.
Did I have Kickoff? No, I didn't have Kickoff. I don't remember what I had. Maybe it was Kickoff. I had some weird game. It wasn't Sensible Soccer, unfortunately. It was a different one.
PES had attributes up to 100, which used to annoy me a little bit.
Well, the early PESs didn't. Like the very first PES had up to like 10, and it became 20, and then eventually it became out of 100. When it started to take itself too seriously. But in the good old days, it was a laugh.
Who's deciding if someone's like a 96 for finishing or a 95 for finishing?
Yeah, it's just how do you get to that?
It's a very specific number, isn't it?
Like this used to be a big thing in like reviews for like movies and video games and things. And there were some companies that were giving scores out of 100, and it's like, why would, like, I think there was a bit of a kickback. There was a kickback against even giving scores in general, but it was like, rather actually it should just be someone's opinion, say, did they like it or not? Rather than, because otherwise everyone just scrolls and looks at the score at the end. And I guess that could happen in football, right? You just like, I don't care about all this other stuff. I don't care about his traits. Show me the number. bigger number wins. I'm guilty of that in Football Manager as well. I'm like, biggest number wins. I don't care if he's right-footed, left-footed. I don't care if he plays 1-2s with a supporter in the crowd. Like, just give me the. When I should look at it really, because I want them to play the style I want them to.
That's
play.
the thing. I'm guilty of that too. Like, so what was it earlier? So my defender just kept doing it. And I just kept complaining, like, why is he doing that? Like, there's no instructions set. Why is he doing that? And it's always like, just check if he's got the trait. And I'm like, as I was moving my mouse over, I was like, he better not have the trait because I didn't even check. And there's a new signing as well. As soon as I pressed it, I see the trait. I was like, oh my days.
I think it was in draft mode a year or two ago. Like, obviously in draft mode, red cards were happening more often than in the regular game.
Yeah.
And one of the things was, if you get, like, there were lots of really good defenders, but they had dives into tackle.
Right.
And if one of their other attributes wasn't high, they would like commit a lot of fouls, give away a lot of penalties, and get red carded. And like, it just happened at a higher frequency in draft mode for whatever reason. I don't know if they change it, but so it suddenly became a thing. Like, when you're in draft mode, never draft a player that dives into tackle. It's in that, because they will like give away penalties and all sorts.
It'd have been a pretty cool thing for them to have traits back in these days.
That's it. Yeah,
I guess it would have added personality to some of these players.
We had absolutely nothing to guide us. That's right. It's like, just make up your own,
Just
make up your own traits and just assume they're real.
You can just, I mean, you don't. Do you have there's no match engine, but you have the lines of text that come up to sort of describe what's happening in the game.
Yeah, I mean, funny you mentioned, like, just reaching the end. One of the guys who sort of like rebuilt the game, if you like, put an option in where you could just skip out all the text. So you just basically start the game and it goes to half time. You start the game again, it goes to full time. Which is,
can you even make changes during the game?
You can. Obviously, on this thing where he's taking the text out, you can't because it's just instant. Just flick through. But if you're playing properly, yes, you can make subs during the game, anytime. But it's just. I'm just
looking at some of these players' attributes. I'm currently seeing De La Sagra, and this is from your 97-98 save. Yeah. And I can see, like, his creativity is 17, but his passing is 4.
Yeah, how's that work? Like, he's got all the ideas just to know that he can't pull them off. Just
his shooting's 20 though. He's got 20. He's got 20 shooting.
Well, that's it. So like, for any forward player, you're looking at like off the ball, which means, like, as I said earlier, like, will he run in behind? Obviously shooting and pace. If you've got those, you're onto something decent. And he's a what we call a minus man, so he's got a -1 potential. So if you get him playing, he could do quite well.
Yeah. He looks like he really looks like one of those strikers that was just killing Football Manager as well. So his finishes or his shooting is 20. Oh. He's got a bit of pace off the ball, 18 as well. Aggression, 15. Yeah. But I think with the pace off the ball and the finishing, that's almost
there's no composure, right? Is there composure?
Nah, there's no composure. No. So there's adaptability, aggression, creativity, determination, dribbling, flair, heading, influence, injury proneness. I'm surprised that's in the main attributes. Off the ball, pace, passing, positioning, set pieces, shooting, stamina, strength, tackling, and technique.
So influence is the only one that's not there now, right? Well, creativity isn't, but they have flair.
So I think they sort of switched that with vision, right?
Right.
Yeah, I remember that switch. That was a rename.
Which one? Influence?
No, I think influence
creativity. Is influence leadership?
Yeah, influence is leadership now, and creativity is vision. Shooting is finishing.
Not flair.
No, flair's still here. Flair's in this game as well.
Flair's different.
Yeah. Ooh. I would have loved to see injury proneness on the edition now.
I think it's a mad start to give away, isn't it? Because like, if you see someone with injury proneness 20, you're obviously not going to buy them.
You're just not going to,
But you take the risk if they were all 20s. What's Alan Shearer? He's got to be in injury proneness 17 or something. I think
it's like it's more
Holy.
like Michael Owen.
It's like frequency of injury. So like, having a big injury doesn't necessarily mean you're injury prone. It's just like, so you'd probably be maybe 10 or something. But
so
like
I did do that. I did do that edit. I did go into Haaland, and I just changed his current ability to 1, saved it, and went back into the normal game. And yeah, it completely just changed his attributes.
His attributes, it's nerfed him, has it?
Yeah, yeah. His value's still 43 million, but he's now got like pace 7, pace 9, acceleration 7, so finishing 8.
To each other. I think you could hard fix it, but it's kind of tough to do.
I wonder why it holds his value. Like that just means his value is in like his contract rather than his ability.
Oh, value in Football Manager is weird now because it's not actually
reputation.
So you can't see their actual value. You're seeing your assistant's opinion of their value.
Ah, right, okay.
Or your scout's opinion of their value, or the price that the agent has told you if you've spoken to the agent.
Probably more realistic, I suppose.
Yeah, because I mean, it is a pain when you like. And I've had this problem this week. I've got a player, and it's telling me, "Hey, he's worth 41 million," and like someone keeps coming in with a bid of 5 million for him, and I'm like, "No, it says he's worth 41. Like, I'm 41 now," and it's like I'm even like, I'll take 20 for him. But it's like, well, why is no one bidding at 20? Okay, I'll take 10 for him. Why is no one bidding at 10? And then someone comes in with a 30 million pound bid, and you're like, probably Man United. Like, what's going on here?
They've seen something.
Yeah, that's it.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Because really, you shouldn't see any stats. Like, if we're being totally honest about it, like you would never look at a player and go, he's a 7 for that.
This is Tony's arguing. Oh, Tony will love you. Oh man, Tony will love you.
I don't agree because in real life you can watch them physically play.
Well, that's it.
And it would take a lot of time as well. And in a game, you can't do that.
Yeah, I was being facetious, really, but like obviously, if you could watch training and stuff and get your coaches to say like, right, what's this guy's best skill set?
So I don't know if you've heard of
you ask them to give a rating out of 20 for their training skills, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard of a creator called Musterman, but he's created a skin where he's removed the attributes.
Oh yeah.
And then now you could just see data. I think he's if you go on the player's attributes, you can scroll down. He hasn't completely got rid of attributes, but it's not numbers, it's like dots. And you sort of have to work hard to figure out if it's good or bad. So people just they often ignore that bit anyway, because the whole point of it is to use the data. So he scored this much, and a lot of data involved. But that might be a skin to test out if you want to try it out with no attributes, because it does make sense. But I wish Football Manager would have a way to tell you that this player is good and this player is bad. Because sometimes you get your coach report, but he will point out the most obvious things, like he's very fast. And that's because his pace is 18 and his acceleration is 18, but it doesn't really have the other bits in between. So it's like, can he pass or can't he pass, sort of thing.
So if you had terrible coaches, would they likely give you a poor assessment of your squad, or is it not as cut and dried as that?
They do. They give a worse assessment. Well, you mean the actual attributes? I think that should happen, right? I feel like if you had a worse team, they shouldn't be able to as accurately tell you how good your players are. Even your own players.
I know, like, obviously in the newer games, the attributes for some players are like between 12 and 18, and it's like, well, that's quite a range. So
that's only players that you're scouting,
right?
Or no, players you've not scouted. Once you've scouted them, you know.
Okay, right. So
it's players you have a bit of knowledge on, but not full knowledge.
Yeah.
Once they're in your team, then you know how good they are.
Yeah. Oh man, I would love to try it out like that.
Yeah. Dave, I've got a little challenge for you and Aaron as well, right? So I know that you love these, and I'll tell you for the audio listeners in a second.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, first, let's play first. So I'll describe for the audio listeners. We've got a player in orange with dreadlocks and a pair of goggles. Do you know the player? I mean, I'm sure you know this one.
Well, I do. Do you want to go, Aaron? Or?
Oh, what, me first?
Yeah, go on. You know who this
that's got to be
is.
Egg Davids.
Yeah. So would you sign them in CM? I've got a box of these here. We won't go through them all. I mean, this is a fairly iconic and obvious one, but
I would sign him. Yes, he's very good.
You would sign him, right? I'm going to grab some more. I want you to see if you can guess who the player is, right? So for the audio listeners, I'll try and describe. So we've got like what looks like blonde hair,
you have to lift him up a little bit, lift it higher,
and he's quite pale.
It looks a bit like Batistuta, but I wouldn't like to nail my colours to the mast on that.
You're right.
Oh,
seriously?
Yeah.
I don't know why I say this guy looks Scottish. I don't know why.
I don't know if he's faded or what's happened to him. He looks way too pale and way too blonde to be Batistuta.
I did when it was Colin Hendry at first, but
it'll go down those lines.
I think I have
it's one of the larger
ones.
So. They changed size at some point.
Yeah, it's a headliner. So he's big.
Yeah. So I don't know, but that's like a weird Batistuta. It does not look like him at all.
No, he's very pale, as you say.
Yeah. I don't know if he's just got over time.
No, mine's the same. I think my boy loves my collection of these, so we've.
Oh yeah, but I've got I found a bunch of them in Poland. So we went in Poland and some guy in a car boot sale was just selling it. He definitely doesn't know what he had in possession, so we just bought the whole box.
Nice. So a little short quiff, like sort of blondie brown hair.
I mean, he's very generic. It doesn't really give much away.
He is quite generic. It's not quite focusing on him, unfortunately. I'll give you the kit. Oh, you can see the name if I put that.
We can't see this. I can't see it. It's a bit blurry.
It's black and white kit.
I mean, it looks like it should be Craig Bellamy, but it's...
Oh, Bellamy.
But it's not Bellamy.
Is it not?
It's not Bellamy?
No, it's not Bellamy.
Oh, I'm out of there.
It's Jonathan Woodgate, which I don't think that looks like Jonathan Woodgate at all.
Again, I've got Woodgate in like bigger form. And it doesn't look anything like that, but never mind.
Some of them come out really well. I mean, this one, I need to remember what it's called now, but there's an old 90s TV show, which someone will mention in the comments, which had like a floating robotic-y cyborgy head. I mean, you might be, it does quite look like the person.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. It's not Schwarzenegger, but you can see what I mean.
It's Bergkamp, I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's got to be
Bergkamp.
Bergkamp, yeah.
I think it's an Arsenal kit there. Is he in an Arsenal kit?
I think Arsenal's a
Did Arsenal play in that colour one
Is
season?
that a blue O2 kit?
No, it's not the O2 one, is it? Is it? Yeah, it might be actually.
I vaguely remember that kit, yeah.
Oh, that kit was beautiful.
Just the head. It's called like heads. Oh, what's he called? Do you know the thing I'm on about?
It's Max Headroom.
The bobbleheads.
Max Headroom. There we go.
Nope.
Dave
Didn't
knew.
know that.
It's my era, so
Okay.
I don't know why he looks so much like Max Headroom, but he does. I'm trying to find the ones who are like instantly I mean, this one looks like a cartoon. He's in an England kit.
Do you mean Genus?
Hey, nice work.
I might have had that one before.
Very good.
I might have that. That might be downstairs.
I've got I mean, let's see. Ooh, okay. Let's go for. We got long hair again. See, this is more what I thought Batistuta would look like.
Yeah.
Like a very
it's very
chiseled face.
Do you think I've had that's not Nesta? I've had Nesta.
It's not Nesta. You guys are on the right lines.
Rui Costa.
There's no Rui Costa. The Rui Costa one is similar, actually. I've got Rui Costa somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I've got Nesta downstairs as well.
I'll show you the kit.
Is it purple?
It's another Fiorentina kit, I think.
Oh, is it Fiorentina? Is it? I was going to say Figo. It's obviously not. It was in Fiorentina.
Batistuta, we get the real Batistuta this time.
Yeah. No, that one's
Fiorentina.
Luca Toni.
Look at Tony.
Aaron, you smashed. All right, I'll tell you his Arsenal, okay?
Gilberto Silva.
Yeah, it was Gilberto Silva. All right, this one's easy. See, some of them are so much better than others. This one is so easy.
I'm sorry already. I saw the moustache.
You saw the moustache. It's not Mr. Pringle.
He looks like Mr. Pringle.
It's like David Seaman. So obviously. It's good. Do you reckon you could get this one? Receding hairline, blonde, or gingery?
He looks unwell. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he was unwell, if I'm honest.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure this guy had cancer.
Oh, I feel bad now.
He's fine. He's still alive. You're okay.
Oh, that's good.
He's fine. He's alive. I was going to go Scholesy, but...
It's not Scholes.
Oh, is that Lennon?
No.
Oh.
John Hartson.
Oh, John Hartson.
Did he have cancer?
He did, yeah.
He did,
yeah. On like the brain or something as well. It was pretty severe.
Yeah, it was bad, yeah. Oh, I mean, this one should be pretty obvious. It's not Agent 47 from Hitman.
Yapstam?
Yeah, Yapstam.
It is Yapstam, yeah, that's good. It's good.
It's a good
Let's see if I've
well.
got, we'll do a couple more and then, I mean, I've got to find one that maybe you guys, ooh. Oh, here we go. How about this one?
Yeah.
Very happy chappy.
Ian Wright.
Not Ian Wright.
Not Ian Wright. I was going to go Sol Campbell at first, but...
He is on BBC TV, though.
It's there on Dublin, but it looks like Ainsley Harriott.
It does look like Ainsley Harriott, but it is the other. It does actually look so much like Ainsley Harriott. That's I think this one is maybe one of the worst ones. So this is 2002, 2003. If you can get that,
it's Beckham, but it's. I don't even recommend it for the pose, but it looks nothing like him whatsoever. But yeah,
it looks nothing like David Beckham. It looks more like who's that? He looks like more like as a movie star. Who it looks like. I can't think who it is. but it's just like a really weird face for
wow.
Beckham.
I feel like they really
Doesn't look
struggled.
like him at all.
Once Beckham lost his hair, well, didn't lose his hair, shaved his head, they really like struggled to make him stand out. Like that's the generic.
Well, he
man.
did lose
Yeah.
his hair. He's had hair transplants.
Yeah,
I'll tell you who it looks like. Have you seen Lost? I can't remember the actor's name.
I know you mean. Got lost school.
Matthew Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like Matthew Fox rather than David Beckham. Let's see. I've got like about 10 of Beckham. It's just here. Let's see if we can get one more. Just to challenge you. Is there like a fake? Like some of them are like really good, and some of them are obviously terrible.
Did you see the convention last week? Did you see any of this?
Was there a convention for Corinthians figures?
They had a Corinthian collection convention. It's a lot of cities in Essex, I think it was, and just like all these collectors from around the UK converged on Essex Cricket Ground to talk about figures, and there was like auctions of old boxes and stuff.
Oof. People have to spend silly money at that place.
Well, that's what some of the comments were. Like, someone spent like £200 on like this rare pack of Norwegian players or something. I was like,
oh my days.
Yeah, rather you than me, but it sounded like a good day out without spending the money. But
is that a brand new one you're opening?
Do so well, but some of them. So there's like, who was I looking at a few years ago? So if you go look at the Carl Walker England ones, I think it's Carl Walker. They're so strange because he's literally 3 different colours. Like, it's weird. It's like, I mean, obviously Carl Walker is a black footballer, but it's like they finally found out that there's more than one shade of black footballer and actually matched it to his colour now. And it's like, because there's one where he's like really dark, and there's one where he's like there's one like where he's like, almost like Dion Dublin, right? And you're like, that's Carl Walker. That's like he's not that dark. It was really strange. Like if you find the England ones, they're really weird. That's the easy one. That's a good one, I think.
Zola.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's when you turn it to the sideways, the side profile.
I think it's like the little flick in the hair, and the nose. Yeah,
as you say, like some of them are like top detail, like they've done every little bit, and others are just like
it's like different artists, isn't it? It's got to be
or shaven head.
I mean, the Beckham ones are good, but you know, there's an Arsenal one for you. You reckon you can get that one, Aaron? Quite generic looking. Sort of got flat fringe, which I think he did have.
That's not. I don't want to get it wrong because it just sounds stupid. That's not Reyes, is it?
It's not Reyes, no. Reyes. I think these are all from like the same year, so 2002, 2003.
Okay. Oh, that's recent.
Yeah. I think it's that's Silvino.
Oh, that's Silvino. Okay.
All right. Okay.
And then here we go. So. How about that one? How about this one in a Spurs kit? I don't know what I'm even going to do with this one.
Yeah, I know what that is.
It's got to be Defoe, isn't it?
In a Spurs kit, 2002, 2003.
Oh, sorry, it's Sol Campbell.
Sol Campbell, yeah. Like, would anyone actually want this figure?
No, there's no one.
No. Like, no Arsenal fan wants it because he's in a Spurs kit. But no Spurs fans want it.
So
Tim Sherwood's an interesting one. Like, they've put quite a bit of detail into him, but I feel like, I don't know if it's because he looks different now.
Yeah.
Very different now.
I've got his probably figure from probably 96, and he's got like these long flowing locks. I'm like, did Tim Sherwood ever look like that? But he must have done.
Yeah. It's when you see old pictures of old managers, like you see like, especially the ones who are like, wait, they did actually used to be a professional footballer, like Big Sam or you know, it's like, wait, he actually, Big Sam is not a small man, and he was obviously quite a large footballer, but he was probably in shape still.
Yeah.
Our editor Chris is going to love this. So like you said, nobody's going to want that Sol Campbell figure. Well, we went to an England game, and because the game was in Nottingham, so we just thought, all right, let's just go into the club shop, blah, blah, blah. And then they had an 85% sale in the shop. So the kid's shirt was like £5 or whatever, so I just got my little boy one. We support Arsenal, by the way. That's a key part of the story. And then, so I got him the shirt. He wanted the name on the back. And then he got Morgan Gibbs White.
Oh, no.
And then, today I saw the news about him going Tottenham, so... my boy's away. This is getting burnt. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry, Chris. But it's because it's a nice shirt as well.
It is.
Like, it's just nice and plain because they obviously got rid of the sponsor for the kids.
Oh, at least it's not an Arsenal one. I mean, he wasn't at Arsenal, was he? Was he at Arsenal?
No, it was at Forest. And well, I can't remember where he was at when he was a youngster.
He was at Wolves, wasn't he? And then
Wolves. Yeah. So my boy, he's got Gibbs, but he books his medical tomorrow, so he's got like probably a couple hours of wear, and then we burn it.
It's because you had Kieran Gibbs and... Did you have another Gibbs?
We had Chamberlain, and the referee didn't know the difference between the two.
Oh, yeah, that was true.
That was rough, wasn't it?
Oh, man. So I really enjoyed that podcast recording, so we're going to wrap it up now. But before I do, make sure you go and check www.patreon.com/the FM Show Pod. That's www.patreon.com/the FM Show Pod, where you can support us from as little as £3. There's bonus content, but you also get early access. And make sure you go and watch last week's episode as well, right after you watch this one. And then, Dave Black, is there anywhere that people can find you?
Yes, you can find us on cm9798.co.uk and cm9798 across all the social world.
Nice. And you can also, CM9798 will be on Twitter, and then you can see his pinned tweet as well. So if you are interested in the books, make sure you go and check that out. But that will be it for today, and we will see you guys very soon. Toodles.